Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP and chat for you. If you do not know what a WIP and chat is, that is when I work on my current WIP, WIP, which is work in progress. I am currently working on a kit called Neighbor. It is a diamond artisan kit. Wow, that just came off of me. That's from my daughter. If you'd like to see the unboxing for that, I will leave that up in the eye. You probably won't see this again because it is full of color blocking and I am cruising right along. I've only worked on it for one day. Look how much I've already gotten done. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And these are the Artisan Shimmer, which are the like fairy dust drills. So they look really nice. I'm really happy with them. Anyway, if you're new here, hi. Welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting related content from time to time. And I would love if you would like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Thanks for coming back. So if you are unfamiliar with what a WIP and chat is, like I said, I'll be working on my current WIP. You can work on whatever it is that you want to be working on, and you can work alongside with me. You can work on a household project. You can do chores. You can pretend to be working. You can do whatever you want to do. I have people tell me they listen when they're driving, when they're working, when they're avoiding work. Whatever it is that you want to be doing, there is no right way or wrong way to WIP and chat. A lot of people keep them on in the background the same way somebody would if it were a podcast. If you are curious, so this, I call it a 310 tray, but I'm using it for the white, which is the background. But I have multiple baggies of that color, so I have just a bunch in here. And I am using that specifically just for the background. But this is my Bijou Bliss. This was their Drills and Chills tray. And then this was one of the Halloween trays. I've been really loving this set. If you'd like to see the unboxing for that, I'll leave that up in the eye. Anyway, so that is here. I've got that going on. But I'm really enjoying this kit so far. It has got a lot of color blocking, which I love. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm hoping this is how I can pull it off, is I finished 95 kits, which is kind of crazy to say that out loud because I've been diamond painting since like COVID, like many of us, I think. And I have some months where I get a ton done and other months where I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. And this year in particular, I've really struggled to get myself into a good routine because of my kid's life. Like, she's got skating multiple days a week, and with school and all of the things that go alongside with it, and then just injuries. And I mentioned this quite a few times, but you never know when somebody's popped in for the first time, and I just feel like I haven't gotten nearly as much done as I wanted to. Technically, according to my logbook, I finished 3 in November. One of them was because I just put the missing drills down that I had gotten from a kit, and that took me like a whole minute and a few seconds to do. But technically, because I did that in November, it counted as a November finish. And the last kit I completed, which was the Muni Made kit, which I will leave the post review for that up in the eye. That was a quick finish as well. I decided to do a smaller kit. That was the Muni Made, and then I opted to choose this one, which was, it's not a huge kit. It's, what are we at? 33.9 by 56.4. A bunch of stuff just fell behind me. Hopefully it was nothing important. Also, my child is home today. I usually film my WIP and chats on Monday while she's at school, but they don't have school today. It's the last day of their Thanksgiving break. So you may hear her. She's been singing a ton of Wicked, which is not surprising. But just a heads up, if you hear that in the background, I have the monitor as low as it can go. But obviously, if she needs me, I'd like to still have it available. And now I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, so this is I finished 95 kits. So I'm thinking if I can do this, then I have 2 Hanukkah kits that I'd like to do. And then if I can finish 2 kits for Alice in a Winter Wonderland, which if you are newer to me or the community, it is a Alice in Wonderland diamond painting event that I host every year. And yes, I am hosting it again in 2025. Then my 100th kit should be an Alice kit, if that's works out the way I think the math should work out, and also like timing. I would love to say like, oh yeah, I could definitely get 2 kits done for Alice in Winter Wonderland, but it's not always the case. And also, I'm pretty sure one of the kits I'm opting to do is super confetti heavy, so we shall see. But if you'd like more information, I have an entire Alice in Wonderland playlist. I will link that up in the eye if you'd like to see that. But in general, the rules are the same every year. It's obviously Instagram is making things a little bit more difficult by basically hiding hashtags nowadays, but it is any Alice or Alice themed kit. It does require a new start to participate. And I always say, like, if we end up going with sponsors and prizes or anything like that, a finish is required for that, but a finish is not required to participate. I would prefer legally licensed artwork, obviously, but I'm not the internet police. I can't tell you how to spend your money or anything like that. But if you would like to participate, you could check out that playlist. I have previous years' announcement videos. I will put another announcement video up. I will never require anyone to follow me or subscribe to my channel to participate. I just want people who love Alice in Wonderland as much as I do to meet new people within the community and to help the community grow. And I've been doing this, I guess this will be my 5th year. 2021, 22, 23, 24, 20. Yeah, 2021 was my first year. So that's crazy to me that I've been doing it so consistently. Last year I did a really fun live I Spy, which worked out pretty well. And for people who wanted to participate in that, they could. And I always do something in my videos where, and this is strictly if you want to participate in this part. If you want to just diamond paint and look at other people's diamond paintings, or, you know, that's the extent of what you want to participate, which is totally fine. You can do that too. But I do every week when I do my WIP and chats, I always put, what I was doing is putting Easter eggs in my WIP and chat, and then the first person to find it, to message me with the screenshot of it, would become my featured account. And every week I do, every week or every other week, depending on how many entries we have and how much time I have to get things together. But I do the featured account, which is something I've done from the beginning, and I think it's fantastic, and I'm going to continue to do it, where it gives you the opportunity to showcase your platform, your Instagram, your YouTube, your small business, your best friend's small business, whatever it is. And it's always gone over really well. People seem to really enjoy that. So that will be happening again this year. So I don't know the extent of what everything is going to be this year, but I'm excited. I'm excited that we're going to do it again. And I just have to get my stuff together, get the Google Docs going, and the graphics and the videos and all that stuff, as if I, have all the time in the world as it is. But we're going to make it work, right? We're going to make it work. Make it work. Like Tim Gunn says. If you don't know that reference, I'm sorry. That's, oh my God. What was that fashion show with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn? Something Runway. Whatever it was called. If you guys know, if you can remember what it's called, let me know the description. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all well. I am, like I said, I'm really enjoying this kit. I've only been working on it for, a couple hours, and I'm just cruising along. I'm really loving the color palette of this. I have mentioned it before when I've done some of the unboxings for the anime stuff. Like, I don't know anything about Totoro or any of this stuff. but I've been very lucky to have a couple people. Shout out to you, Elena, who always gives me the information of what I need to know. If you guys hear the wooing, that's Briar in the background. She's having a very good day, and she's excited right now, which means it's either gonna the other shoe is gonna drop, or it's gonna keep going, and then tomorrow when I have to wake her up, it's gonna be crazy pants. But I don't want to turn all the way down because then I can't hear her. Anyway, I hope that you guys are all well. Did you guys score anything for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday, any of the last couple days? Did you get anything? I wanted I know you guys are shocked, the Alice in Wonderland kit from Margaret Morales from Diamond Art Club, but I was sharing a bed with my child in a hotel room, and I was not about to set an alarm and wake her up. So I missed out on that one, which is fine because I've got a million Alice kits in general, but there's always another one, I'll have another chance to get it if I still feel like that's the one I need, and then I got some stuff non-diamond painting related, but it had nothing to do with Black Friday. It just happened to be that's when I purchased it. But I got some sunflower seeds, which I'm intrigued by. I don't know if you guys have seen, they're like the viral sunflower seeds from a company called Smackin'. I've had them quite a few times now, and I do enjoy them. I definitely prefer some flavors over other flavors, but God, this kid is so loud. But I worry if I turn it down, I'm already at the lowest it goes. Hopefully it's not too distracting to you guys. Normally she's not like this when I'm recording, because usually I record while she's at school or while she's sleeping. Anyway, but I ordered some. They had a bucket that was on sale. And do I really need that many different seeds? Probably not, but I do eat a ton of sunflower seeds when I eat them. Like when I used to work at the radio station, I used to always have, my jam was always the Biggs brand dill pickle. I got to turn her all the way down. And I would go through multiple bags in a week. Actually, let me tell her to close her door so it's not quite as loud. Hold on one second. I'm back. So I asked her if she could close the door. Maybe she won't be quite as loud. I don't want to stop her from... Nope, just as loud. And I can't put the camera up because I need this to be filming. You guys, this is what life is like when you have a child and you have things to do and they need to get in your way. She's not in my way. You know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. No, I got to turn her back on. I'm sorry. I know it's probably super distracting. And why is my fan not working now? Oh, good. You guys, I am a disaster over here. There we go. Jeez. I don't even know what I was talking about. Black Friday. Oh, so I ended up picking up one Diamond Art Club from the Cyber Monday sale. I will share that with you guys when that comes in. I was talking to another diamond painting friend of mine, and she was trying to figure out what she wanted to get. And oh my God. This is so distracting. I hope it's not as distracting for you guys as it is for me. It's probably because she's right here, like, on my table. Well, she's not, but the monitor is. And I keep trying to move it, like, further and further away, but then I'm like, that's all I can hear. Okay. Hopefully we are back at a point where she can just tone it down for a little bit. I know she's excited. But anyway, I was telling a diamond painting friend of mine that if you are debating whether or not you need a kit, and this is true for any company, it doesn't matter if it's, high end, big store, small shop, independent, it doesn't matter. If you look at an image and your first thought is, I don't know if I need this, you don't need it. If your first thought is, I have to have it, then you have to have it. And I say that because, as I mentioned, I started diamond painting during COVID, like many people did in the beginning of the pandemic. And a lot of us panic bought a ton of kits because at that time, Diamond Art Club wasn't doing major releases because things were taking so long to come from China. And so many of us purchased things that we liked or that had colors we liked or something about it we liked, even if it wasn't something we loved, because we weren't sure if we would be able to get more. And I, for sure, ended up with a ton of kits in my stash that I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do these. And I know what it's like to be like, I like this kit. I'm going to get it. And then you get it and you're like, I don't love this kit. And I've kind of fallen out of like with it. And that's oftentimes why you see some people doing like pretty big destashes because of a phase of life, a period, whatever it was that they went through, and now they no longer have those same desires. And that's totally acceptable, and it's, totally the norm. But that's become my rule of thumb when it comes to diamond paintings is if it's not something I absolutely love and feel like I have to have, then I'm not gonna stress myself out over buying it. And I don't remember which Hannah Lynn kit it was, but there was a Hannah Lynn kit. My husband and I, we went to this restaurant. It was like a barbecue restaurant. We were sitting in the outdoors, and I absolutely was devastated that I missed whatever the kit was, and that I missed it again. It sold out so quickly at general release and at Diamond, and I cried. Because I was like, I love this image so much. Now, I don't think it was one that was ever restocked. I think it was like one of those limited edition ones. But like that one hurt. And I know I have plenty of opportunity to get beautiful artwork. So if something I really, really love isn't available right now, that doesn't mean that it's never going to be available, or it might just mean this kit wasn't necessarily meant for me. So super long story short, the reason I'm telling you this is if you ever question, do I need that kit? I love it, but I like it, but do I love it? If you don't love it, don't push yourself. It's not going to benefit you in the long run. And I know a lot of people do like the FOMO buying because they don't know if it'll ever come back, but, life's too short to lose sleep over missing out on a diamond painting. And that's, like I said, I miss the Margaret Morales, but there will be more. And, maybe it was just not meant to be. Anywho, but let me know down below what your big scores were, or did you miss out on anything you really wanted? Let me know. I'm really curious. It's always fun to hear what people got and what they were trying to get, whether it's diamond paintings or pens or accessories or washi or whatever it may be. I don't know if you guys saw Shay, Crafting with Shay. She did it was a super helpful series of what shops had what promotions running for Black Friday all the way through Cyber Monday, and she did multiple videos. She did a video each day showcasing different shops and what they had going on, and I thought that was super helpful, and it was a fun format, so I appreciated that. And I will leave Shay's channel down below if you would like to check her out. But yeah, I thought this was all I had of this color, and I just got real nervous. I keep shifting because I want to do these flowers, because that's the lowest point with like glue on my kit. But if you don't know me by now, I call myself a free-range diamond painter because I just peel the plastic up and go. If you guys are actually watching any of this in real time, like I am not working on a small section. I actually have the canvas or the cover peeled up and I'm working the whole width of the canvas at once. Which I can do on certain size kits. If they're over a certain width, it's not really that great. I usually have to cover a bunch up with release paper or something like that just so that I'm not sticking to it. But yeah. Anyway, I hope that you guys all had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate, or that you could spend it with people that you wanted to be spending it with. It's been a very interesting week. Thanksgiving was very late this year. I think it was the absolute latest that Thanksgiving could be, because I think the first of the month was a Friday, which meant that the fourth Thursday was the very end of the month, because it's crazy that December happened during Thanksgiving weekend. So when you guys see this, if you see it in real time, my husband's birthday is in a few days, so that's exciting. I think I'm gonna just work on these flowers and then decide if I want to pull the canvas up a little more. Also, if you guys see these like white drills here that outline, is Totoro a boy? God, somebody tell me. Elena, where are you? Or Brandy. I should have done some research, but you know, it is what it is. But they're glow drills, so that'll be really cute when that is filled in. But Monday, so Monday I was slated to do my craft night. So normally Mondays I go to craft night with Erica of Kevin's wife, Kevin's Creations, Kevin's DP Pens, and we go to craft night together, and then we grab dinner together, usually. I wasn't able to do that because our daughter had a parent-teacher conference, so I was only able to go to craft night. Thank goodness I was able to go to craft night. And we had to bring our kid with us to parent-teacher conference, which they're fine with that. And then they don't want them at open house. And I'm like, okay. So open house, my husband went because we didn't have a place to just like put Briar for. It wasn't like worth trying to figure out childcare. Anyway, that's nobody needs to hear this ramble. So anyway, I went to the parent-teacher conference. Now, my daughter's in first grade. And if there's one thing you should know about my kid, she is too smart for her own good. Now, the school has met a version of my child that I have never met. She is well behaved. She listens. She willingly does whatever is asked of her. She likes to take on little tasks. And I'm like, I don't know that child. And so much so that they saw her being goofy in the hallway. And the teacher's like, oh, this is a nice side to see of her. And I'm like, this is her all the time. But anyway, prior to the parent-teacher conference, I was convinced, and I'm not even exaggerating here, I was convinced our child was illiterate. Now, you might be saying to me, how would you think that? Well, easy. Because when our child is home with us, she refuses to read. And I don't mean like, oh, she won't take time and like read a book. Like she won't even attempt to read a word. For her, if it's not a sight word, she won't try. And she wants every word to be a sight word, to which my husband and I have had to explain to her multiple times that, you know, even as adults, we still have to sound out words. She doesn't believe us, but, you know. So I'm sitting here and I'm watching I'm not saying this because I'm like, let's compare our kids, but I'm watching as like, she's got peers who've been able to read full books since before they started kindergarten. And I'm over here watching as my child doesn't want to even sound out a word. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I know she knows this stuff. I know she's smarter than this. And so we went over some stuff with the teacher, and she's going over her reading stuff and telling us how great she's doing. And like, I kid you not, I was like 100% convinced that my child just could not read at all. And anytime we have a book, like when she gets a book from the library from school, she won't even, she'll just look at the pictures and then put it back in her book bag and bring it back to school. And I'm like, do you want to read this book with me? She's like, no. Okay. part of it is that she doesn't want to read it. She wants us to read it to her. And I am not opposed to reading, but when you have a child who's learning to read, you want them to at least try. So her teacher goes, hey, Briar, can you read this for me? And pulls out a book. And my kid reads the first 3 pages of the book without a problem. And I'm like, what the heck? Who's this child? Well, now that she knows that we know she can read, now all of a sudden everything is, oh, mommy, look at what this says. Oh, mommy, look at this. Mommy, I can read this to you. Mommy. And I'm super excited about it, but it was just funny to me that, like, I was so convinced she couldn't read because she wouldn't try. And I've always told her that I would rather her try and get it wrong every single time than to not try at all. Like, I would rather her always attempt and it be wrong every single time than to just not even put in the effort. And I think that's hard for some kids. You know, they don't want to do what they perceive as being failures, which it's not a failure. Well, she's 7 now, but you're a little kid. You know, it's okay. And I was super impressed. And then in the hallway, they have this, I don't know if you guys have done this with, like, your kids, or if you know anyone who's done this with their kids. It's a pretty big project that I see, like, young elementary kids do. It is the disguise a turkey. So what they do is they give you a turkey and they say, take it home and disguise it as something else so we don't know it's a turkey. Now, a lot of people will just color it one way. Like, you might have somebody who colors it in red and blue and be like, it's Spider-Man. Well, my Halloween-loving child, I don't know where she got that from, decided she wanted to make hers a bat. So we covered the plumage of the turkey with gold glitter paper, so it looked like the moon. And then we cut out felt to cover the body to make it look like it was a bat with little bat ears and the bat wings and stuff like that. And it was the cutest thing. They had this project where they got to write their story, and then their technology teacher came in one by one and had the kids read their stories, and they did this little video for I Am Not a Turkey, and then they animated it, and I would love to share that with you guys. So please enjoy my daughter's I Am Not a Turkey, I Am a Bat story. Here you go.
I am not a turkey. I am a bat. A turkey lives in the forest. I live in a cave. A turkey says, gobble, gobble. I say, squeak, squeak. A turkey has feathers. I have a moon. I am not a turkey!
I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I love her little chuckle at the end. It's like my absolute favorite, but that's her voice, and that's her reading her story, and that was her turkey. She actually worked on that with my husband, and I thought it was a really fun project. She did a great job on it, and she's very proud of it, and, you know, my daughter loves learning, so that's great, because what more can I ask for, you know, in a little kid in school who loves going to school every single day? And I'm super grateful. She's got a really wonderful school staff. And I'm truly honored with how much the administration, the school nurse, her teacher, the staff just has taken just such a liking to her and really encourages her. And, I love it, and she's really loving school. So, we had an interesting day because like I said, we had the parent-teacher conference and all of that, and I had screwed up because we wanted to take her to see Wicked on the day before, which was the day after her birthday, but I dropped the ball. All of the tickets sold out. It is what it is. So I actually took her in between when school was over and when craft night began. So she got to see Wicked, which she loved and is now obsessing over the soundtrack and is just constantly singing it in her room. One of the things you guys may have heard her is doing her little popular. She loved it. I don't know that she fully understood where the movie ended, which if you haven't seen it but you've seen the Broadway play, the movie is the first act of the play, and so it ends with Defying Gravity. And she loved it. She loved it. She loved it so much that she's already asked me if we can see it again in theaters, which she's never seen a movie in theaters twice. And then my husband's like, well, it'll probably be out, soon enough. And I'm like, listen, I'll take her back to see it again as a treat. She did such a good job. And she just loves it so much. But she's been wearing her Glinda dress up costume like since then. And on on Thanksgiving, she wore the bubble dress to my parents' house, which I'll talk about Thanksgiving here in a second. And then she wore a Wicked inspired dress. Target has a collection. It's super, super cute. If you have kids that are in like a youth extra small all the way up through like the bigger kid sizes, they've got a really cute collection with like the bomber jackets and the dresses and the t-shirts. Some of it is just Wicked inspired. So like the dress she had was black and it had like green underneath it. But anyway, it was great. We loved it. If you saw it, let me know your thoughts. Then Tuesday, we had morning ice, which is always fun, but tiring. And she's exhausted by the end of the day, which makes sense because we have to be up. Well, I'm up at 5. She's up at like 5:30. And it's still something she's getting used to, which if you guys are watching this in real time, when you guys see this, it'll be Tuesday morning, but I record on Monday. And like this morning, I had to wake her up early and she was not happy because she decided to stay up till almost midnight last night. So I'm hoping that she actually goes to bed at a reasonable hour tonight so that tomorrow isn't sheer chaos. But it was a half day, so I picked her up from school, and then we went and met a friend from school last year, who we haven't seen since kindergarten ended, and they had invited us to go see the new Moana movie, which, if you want my opinion on that, it's not as good as the first movie. It was definitely cute. Some of the songs are really nice. Also, don't get mad at me, but I didn't super love Moana, the first one, the way a lot of other people did. My husband loved Moana. It just, something about it just didn't like make me go, oh my God, I love this movie. I don't know, but I enjoyed it and I love the music. But this one, it was sufficient. Most sequels are not as good as the originals in general, but I asked Briar because she saw Wicked and Moana back to back, and she preferred Wicked. So if that tells you anything. But it was definitely cute. It was not done by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the music this time, so it definitely had a little bit of a different feel to it. But it was a good story. I just like the characters that were in it were all just kind of throwaway, and I retained 0 names. So I don't know. But Wednesday, she was officially on break. We had 2 half days, which is super annoying. And I know why they do it. Because if they do a half day, it still counts towards the days of, like, the school year days. Whereas if they did 1 full day and then a day off, it would only be 1 day. Which I get, but it's annoying. Anyway, I feel like I'm just complaining. But, I grab my other pen. But we went to the chiropractor. Both of us went to the chiropractor. She graduated. And I got adjusted, which I have not done lower back decompression in quite some time because I've been dealing with the stuff with my shoulder blade and my arm. And I've been doing like cervical, like neck decompression, and it just, my body, I deal with sciatica also on top of everything else. So that's why I started going to the chiropractor in the first place. So I was able to get adjusted. My kiddo loves, they have this little robot toy. She loves playing with the robot there. She just likes going to the chiropractor. But she did pretty good. And then I don't think we did anything else exciting that day. We went ice skating. She has private lessons back-to-back days. And then Thursday, well, actually Wednesday night, I noticed one of my girlfriends from high school had posted something that they were en route to Pennsylvania. They obviously don't live in Pennsylvania anymore. And I've known her for many, many years. We went to high school together. And at one point, she used to drive me to school. Like, she would come by my house, pick me up. She would make, we would make omelets and watch 10 Things I Hate About You. And it got to the point where she could just come and go as she pleased in my home. And my parents would be like, oh, yeah, Karen's in the pool. And I'm like, what? And she just loved spending time at my house. And I also love spending time at her house. And it was just, I haven't seen her in years just because the way life works. And I saw her post and I was like, how long are you in town for? And she texted me. And we were able to catch up before both of our families had Thanksgiving on Thursday. So on our way down to my parents' house, we stopped by her parents' house and my kid got to play with her kids and it was pretty good. It was great to see her and it was great for the kids to get along. My kid had a really hard time being told we have to go because she wanted to keep playing, despite the fact that her daughter needed to go take a nap and we had plans. Like, we couldn't stay there all day, contrary to my daughter's wants and desires. And so that was really hard transition for her, but it was so good to see them and see her husband and see her parents. And, my husband and I went to her wedding when she got married. My parents also came to the wedding. It was just this family affair and I was so excited to see her. And it made my heart so happy. And it was funny. She texted me and was like, hey, come in the side door the way you used to when we were in high school. And I was like, God, we are so old. We graduated 24 and 25 years ago. And it's just like, how is that possible? But it is. And so my parents recently moved to this retirement community. And it's been an adjustment for my parents, but it's been really wonderful. And they have everything they could possibly ever need in one place. There's an on-site restaurant. There's a whole medical wing. There's a theater. So they put on shows. They have an art studio. My mom, if you guys didn't know, my mom is a mosaic artist. And she will be teaching some art classes coming up in the new year, which is really fantastic. I think my dad said there was like an improv show that came and there's a little cocktail lounge. There's everything they could need. And we've really enjoyed them there. It's a much smaller space than the home that they were living in previously, but they didn't need a big house for just two people, which I think one of the things is that, like, it was just too much house for two people. But the place that they live at has these suites that you can rent out like a hotel room. And we've done it before. Actually, my family came in to town and a couple of the siblings got rooms there. So we didn't have to get a hotel and go far away. We could stay at my parents' in their apartment, their condo, whatever you want to call it, for as long as we needed to before, going. We didn't have to travel anywhere. We could just walk to the rooms. It was great. So for us, we went down and spent Thanksgiving with my family on Thursday. And because my husband works in retail, but he works in retail for Hershey. So for them, their big time of the year is not Black Friday. It is over the summer. So this was the first time in many, many years that my husband's been able to take off and it not be an issue. And it was wonderful. it worked out great for us this year. So because he took a couple days off, we actually stayed down with my parents and got one of those rooms. Well, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But my daughter does not seem to comprehend that this is not a hotel. Not that the behavior is acceptable in a hotel. I'm going to preface it with that. But she thinks that, like, she doesn't understand that you can't be loud and stomping through the hallway. This is people's homes. They just happen to have a couple of these, like, suites available in between some apartments and condos. And so she will be like Stompy the Bear in the hallway. And we try to explain to her, you can't do that. And then when she gets frustrated, and this is something that as a parent, it frustrates me to the ends of the earth. And I don't know how to change this behavior. And it's something I've been working on. And I'm not really asking for advice. I'm just telling you the story. But she likes to scream, help. And she will scream, oh, apparently I just lost the flash because the battery's too low. So let me plug my phone in. Apparently, she doesn't understand that you can't scream help unless you actually need help. Let's see if that'll... I don't know if it'll let me turn the flash back on. So if not, this is just where we're at. But she... Like, when she gets frustrated, she'll just scream, I need help! And I'm like, bro, you can't do that. We've talked about this. And she does this a lot. She does it when we are at home. She does it when we're out in public. And I've said to her, you cannot scream, I need help, unless you need help. And I said, the situation is if, like, if you need real help, or if somebody's trying to, like, kidnap you, you know, but you can't just, for shits and giggles, because you're mad at mommy and daddy, scream, I need help. So that was a fun little moment to deal with in a facility that is full of senior citizens, because they do have nurses and things like that. And the last thing we need is for them to worry that there's somebody who actually does need help. So, you know, it is what it is. I've been working on this with her, and she acts like she understands, and then she does it again. So that was frustrating, but we stayed the night, and then the next day we were really excited. My daughter has recently discovered her complete love of all things dumpling, and my dad said that there's a dim sum place near him that we could all go to. So we did that. We went on Friday to get dim sum. And it was really a great experience. The restaurant was cute. We were eating tons of good food. And then my daughter, the shrill fear and terror in her voice as she knocked a cup of hot tea, like scalding hot tea, in her lap. She has a tendency, this is something that we've also tried working with her, but, you know, I don't know if you've met children, but they know more than adults, and they will die on that hill. And my husband, on a daily basis, has to remind her, you know, push your cup away from the edge. And I'm not saying this to put blame on my daughter. It was a complete accident. But she did knock a cup of hot tea into her lap, and she was terrified, and she was in pain, and thank God it did not cause any actual damage. In the moment, she had redness all over her inner thighs, and it was terrifying. And you could she was hurting so bad, and it was one of those bathrooms where they have just like a single bathroom. It wasn't stalls or anything like that. So I'm in the bathroom. My husband's in the bathroom. Then my mom comes to the bathroom because the restaurant had given her an ice pack and some like Neosporin packets. And so I put my daughter, this is dumb of me, but I put her on the edge of the sink. And so because I was trying to stand her upright so we could clean the area and put the cream on her. And she's, you know, crying because it hurts. And I said, I understand, you know, baby girl, and you're allowed to be, I always okay her feelings. it is always okay for you to be sad or angry or frustrated or hurt or whatever it is. It's not okay to use that as an excuse to treat people like garbage. And I kept saying to her, like, it's okay. You're allowed to be upset right now. Cause she kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You are okay, baby girl. It was an accident. And, obviously it was devastating in that moment, but my husband was wearing an overshirt. Like, he usually wears an undershirt and then a t-shirt. So he was wearing a shirt on top of his shirt, and he pulled that off because my daughter was now sitting in soaking wet pants and underwear, and the hand dryer in the bathroom just wasn't doing it for us. So we pulled all that off and put the t-shirt over her, which then went down to the floor. We ended up going back to my parents' house. We asked her, there was an urgent care right there. And we asked her, do you want us to take you over to the doctor? And at first she said yes. And then she said, you know what? I think I'm okay. I just want to go back to Mimi and Zeta's and just relax for a little bit. So we did. We went back to my parents' house. We pulled up Bluey on the TV, which she loves. And if you guys have ever watched Bluey, the episode with Jean-Luc, which is like the camping episode, 100% of the time it makes me cry. And I'm sitting over here while my mom is watching, and I'm just crying over these cartoon dogs. If you know, you know. And we put her pants and her underwear through the laundry so that it could not only get clean but dry. And then once that happened, she was a-okay, and all of the redness subsided later that day. And by the time she went to bed, like, there was not even... you couldn't even tell that she had burned herself earlier. So thank God that's as bad as it was, because we were obviously nervous it was going to bubble, and it didn't. And obviously we didn't want our child to be in pain or anything like that. But it was rough, because as a parent, you never want to see your child in pain, but those blood-curdling screams are things that you don't get out of your head, even if the child is okay. And it just, like, it got me, you guys. It got me. And I think that obviously means that, like, I care. I think if a parent didn't care, it wouldn't be so devastating. But I'm really thankful my family was there, because it gave us an extra hand. And it helped reassure her that you're okay and you're allowed to be scared. And it's okay. It's not okay that it hurts, but it's okay that you are reacting to the pain. I don't want I didn't want her to think like, mommy's cool that you got hurt. But it broke my heart. But we ended up having a great time with the family, and it worked out really well. My brother-in-law, his wife and daughter went to the Macy's Day Parade, so we didn't have to drive between two families on actual Thanksgiving this year, which we have done countless years in the past. So that was super, super nice, but they decided they were going to do it on Saturday. So Saturday rolls around. We head over to my family's, my in-laws, and and somehow now the monitor is dying. So we had a really wonderful time over there. His sister-in-law made all of the traditional dishes, and the food was delicious. And because my parents had theirs at the little restaurant inside their building, it wasn't like I could get seconds. It wasn't a buffet. They served you your items on a plate. And the food was good, but Thanksgiving is that one meal that I like to go a little buck wild on, and I want to stuff my face. I love Thanksgiving food. And it's interesting because my daughter, I'm curious what they're teaching her in school versus what the actual history is. Because, schools like to teach the Pilgrims and Indians, and it was like this amicable thing. And, the white man came over and he was like, I love your land. I'm going to move here. And it was all happy. And it's like, that's not at all. how it went. I mean, obviously I wasn't there to be like, I know firsthand, but, so we talked about like the actual history of it a little bit, but in age appropriate terms because she's only in first grade. But anyway, we went over there. My niece and nephew were there. They're both like grown up now. One's in college, one's getting their master's. And it was just a really wonderful time. It's nice that now we can go to a family member's house and not have to like hover over Briar. She is, well, she's pretty self sufficient in general, but she has other people who can pay her extra attention, which you could tell at one point she was like, why aren't more people paying attention to me? Because she just kept talking about how bored she is and how nobody's playing with her. And I'm like, girl, what do you want us to do? You're not going to get a bunch of us to sit on the floor with you. But I digress. She had a good time. We had a great time. It was really wonderful. I was talking to my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and, you know, their kids are much older than mine is now. And I'm like, man, you know, at what point does X, Y, and Z get easier? And, you know, they give me the look and I'm like, got it. But it was just really nice. And Briar was talking to her cousin. She's definitely a musical theater kid. And so she was super excited about Wicked. And so they got to talk about Wicked, which the last time we were there, she's like, how come she likes my brother more than me? And I'm like, because he sits on the floor with her. And, you know, now they got to have that moment where they bonded over it. So it was super fun. And then we just hung out. We had our food, our desserts. My child ate a slice of pumpkin pie, a slice of apple pie, 2 scoops of ice cream, and asked for more. And I was like, where on earth are you putting all of that? You know, all 37 pounds of her. Although she has a pediatrician appointment coming up here this week. So I'm curious if maybe we've gotten a little bit closer to 40. The answer to that is probably not, but we will see. We had a couple days off from ice skating, so that was nice for like travel purposes. We didn't have to worry about missing any lessons or rushing back home for any lessons. I'd still like to get her to an outdoor rink. She loves skating outside. There's one that's like an hour and a half away from us, but they're only open later. Like they're only open on the weekends and it doesn't open till like 4 or 5. And I was like, well, I'm not driving that far for that short amount of time. Now, there was a Christmas village, or there is a Christmas village near where my parents live that have a flight on ice, which is a traveling outdoor rink. We've skated on one before in Lancaster and I think somewhere else. But I looked at it and I had to pay admission to the Christmas village. And then I had to pay the admission to the rink. And I was like, holy moly. Like, I understand this is, it's a racket. You know, they are here to make money. But I am not paying $23, I think it was, for my daughter to ice skate for 1 hour. You get a 1 hour time slot. That did not seem worth it to me. So we also didn't really have the time because that didn't open till 5 o'clock. So I'm still trying to figure out if I can get that to happen this season. We shall see. I know she loves it. There's just none that are close-ish. Although I saw there's one down in Baltimore. They have a Christmas village. But I don't know if we have time to do even just like a day trip to Baltimore and back. So we'll see if she gets to skate outside this year or not. I really hope I can make that happen for her. The one year she's like, can we have a rink? And I'm like, girl, we live in Pennsylvania. It could be 40, it could be 80 degrees, or it could be, 12 degrees. And an outdoor rink doesn't work unless you have consistently cold weather to keep it frozen, unless you do synthetic ice, which will destroy her blades. So, and that was one of the other things. I had to make sure the one rink wasn't synthetic ice because I don't want to destroy her skates. So, our Thanksgiving was good. When I came home from Thanksgiving, I got to be on a big, Zoom chat with a couple of the girls from the diamond painting retreat, which was fantastic. It's one of those things that life is just exhausting. I'm at that phase of life where youth sports takes up a lot of our time. And right now we are in a chaotic season of that. On top of it just being like, oh, we're doing youth sports. My kid is in 3 ice shows in the span of 2 weeks. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on. I have a lot at any given moment. And by the end of the week, I am just crashing. And it's been pretty consistent with that, especially when you throw in that Tuesday where I'm up a couple hours earlier. Like if you're somebody who's always up at 5 a.m., it's not that big of a deal. But if you're not somebody who's up that early, it's a big adjustment to just wake up a few hours earlier and continue to proceed your day as normal, and it still doesn't end till it would on its normal time. So that's, one thing. Ugh, this color has so much static. I have put dryer sheets in. I've sprayed it. It just does not want to tame itself. But how are we on time? We are probably pretty close to that hour mark here. But what did you guys do for Thanksgiving? Are you guys turkey people? I know, like, my niece, she's a ham person, so they actually had turkey and ham. I don't do ham at all, which I feel like it's kind of surprising to some people that I like turkey because I don't do chicken, but I can't get down. Ham, I don't like the texture of it, but I love other pork. Like, I do pork chops, pork loin, pork tenderloin, bacon. I just don't do ham. And I've had... I know that it's probably the most common reason people ask me this, but I don't keep kosher. So I get asked a lot, like, oh, so you don't eat ham because you're Jewish. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with that. But my daughter loves ham. And so I was like, oh, she'll have some ham. No, she didn't want any ham. I'm like, okay. But... I'm really happy that we were able to spend so much time with both of our families, especially as all the kids get older. It gets harder and harder. Her cousins are away at school now, so it's even harder to do things with everyone when they don't live here. So hopefully we will see them again. I said to Brian, I was like, I'm assuming, because I heard somebody say, we'll see you in a few weeks. I said, I'm assuming we're being invited to whatever day they're doing Christmas, which this year, Hanukkah begins on Christmas Day. Why does that look like I just laid that so crookedly? Man. And this is a round kit, and it's got so much color blocking, and I am not, like, super precise. So there's chunks where I'm like, I should use the straightener, but I not. You know what? I think this is probably a good place to end. But if you made it all the way to the end, leave me some sort of emoji that makes you think of Thanksgiving. Interpret that however you will. But that's it. I've got more content coming for you guys, hopefully sooner rather than later. I've got a couple unboxings. I decided I did film the Oraloa post review, so I will put that up and I will share that with you all hopefully this week. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. 1 real life, 1 virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come join the Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping, or like today, sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!